welcome back to another video of mine, ladies and gentlemen. Now, obviously, it's been a hot minute since I've done a few videos talking anything lately, whether that be Cobra Kai or whatnot. It's just been a busy couple of weeks, a lot of moving pieces, a lot of things that I've had to sort of juggle with. But, you know, back down to business. Now, obviously, I'm going to preface this video with a classic phrase of mine. Another Robbie video! Sorry. Okay, yes. So, that being said, there are a plethora of videos that are coming your way, ladies and gentlemen. I can't wait to delve into these scenes and talk about these key moments. I've had my eye on these things for a while now. And I'm going to be simply talking about the characters, the journeys that they've gone on, where they could go, and a little bit about what happened to them this season, how it affected them mentally, emotionally. And speaking of, this reminds me of this time last year, when I did a similar video talking about our boy Eli, and I said that he is now a redemption character. And when I say redemption, there are different levels of redemption. There is the outward redemption, where Hawk saves Dimitri. There is subtle redemption, where Hawk changes to be better. There is more of redemption within himself, by winning the All Valley and proving that he can do it as Eli, and that he can repent his sins. There are different levels of redemption. But I think that Robbie's redemption here is something that I have been absolutely advocating for ever since the beginning of the show. Because if you look at the way he was introduced as a bit of a bad boy, a bit rough around the edges, you know, no guidance in life, and sort of floating from one thing to the next. And he's kind of got this sort of flip-flopping kind of mentality where 1 minute he's one way, 1 minute he's the next, 1 minute he's another way. A good example will be in the All Valley, he has a great speech with Kenny, one speech with Kreese, and he goes and whoops Kenny's ass. And that's purely indicative of him not having that guiding role model in his life, to where he's hearing so many different philosophies, he doesn't know which way to go, and it's about him finding his footing and taking the necessary steps from that position to move forward. And I feel like with everything that happened in the Season 4 finale for Robbie, my boy is now 2-0, right? He's lost 2 finals in a row. Can we please give him a W? Him and Miguel need W's next season. Absolutely, please. But he is in a position now where he would need to make things right. And it's not that he needs to, he wants to. I feel like there is no doubt in my mind, him coming home to Johnny at the end of the Season 4 finale is not just him and his dad making peace. I think it's even deeper than that. I think it's him leaving Cobra Kai entirely. I think he's renounced it completely. I think this is the start of him leaving there. I think there's nothing in Cobra Kai for him except Tori. And even with everything that Tori's going on, she won't be there much longer anyway. Especially once the information about Kreese surfaces, she'll be out of there too. But don't worry. I know everyone likes a threat that, oh, there needs to be some bad guys. Why do you think Terry Silver was brought into this show? Terry Silver is the Thanos of the Karate Kid mythology. You're going to see unnamed NPC doppelgangers of our main characters. Don't be surprised if you see a duplicate of Robbie, a duplicate of Sam, a duplicate of Miguel, a duplicate of Hawk even. You will see doppelgangers of these guys. And these will be spiteful, merciless kids that we do not root for. All the kids that we have had in this show since Season 1, and Tori included, we will be rooting for them. They will be on our side. Hell, you could even put Sean and Kenny in that bracket. The grey and the nuance that they've given both Sean and Kenny this season is put there purposefully for things going forward. But just focusing on Robbie a bit more for this particular segment. If you pay attention to what Robbie says when he says, I had all this hate inside of me, he doesn't just say for Johnny, he says for you and for Miguel. And I remember saying before Season 4 dropped, as much as I want Robbie to come home, it's got to be a conscious choice that he makes. No one can make it for him. It has to be a choice that he decides is his course of action. He has to make that choice, and that is where the step into adulthood comes in. And it reminds me of the Uncle Ben quote where it's like, these are the years a man changes into the man he's going to become for the rest of his life. And that is exactly what Robbie is now in. And make no mistake, he has a lot to make up for. He nearly killed a guy. You know, he has a lot to make up for. Then you could argue he's disrespected Miyagi-Do by teaching it to Cobra Kai. He's got a lot of patching up to do with Daniel, a lot of patching up to do with Johnny, and an even more load of patching up to do with Miguel. There is a lot that needs to be resolved between those two. But following on from one of my recent videos, talking about where he's going. Now, we've all seen the leaked image. It was leaked way before Season 4 even dropped, where Johnny and Robbie are both wearing FBI shirts, and it simply means female body inspector. Totally Johnny, it's just, it fits him to a T, no pun intended. And I think you're going to see a father-son bonding moment between Johnny and Robbie like never before. If you go all the way back to Season 1, Robbie says to Johnny, "Oh, I've never been on a father-son trip before, so I had to use my imagination." And what's happening now? I mean, it's not exactly an ideal father-son trip, but it's the right one for Robbie's course of redemption. And I stand by this. Robbie will be the first one to find Miguel, not Johnny. Robbie will. And I think that will be setting everything in motion for these two. And the day that Robbie and Miguel are on the same page fully, you don't need anyone else. You really do not need anyone else other than these two. And I must say, I think I speak for everyone when I say, no matter what your thoughts are on Robbie across this show, the moment when he comes home with Johnny in the All Valley, after the All Valley, in the dojo, and if you flash back to a year, well, not a year, I'm thinking in terms of seasons, if you flash back not too long ago, him and his father, well, Johnny was on defense while Robbie was trying to beat the crap out of him, and then you fast forward, and they both embrace. There's a nice full circle there, there's a parallel. And I think going forward from here, everything that's going to happen for Robbie is going to be key and indicative of what has been set up in the last 4 seasons. And it's not a case of me gloating, it's just a case of me seeing these things across the show that they put there intentionally for them to be paid off. And I think you're going to see a lot of progression for Robbie next season. And as I said, the way I would have it pegged is our heroes are in a lot of trouble. And then Robbie and Miguel come back to the valley, stepbrothers in arms, father on the side. Cavalry has arrived. A better entrance than Thor in Wakanda. Telling you. And this is the start of his true redemption. His redemption is going to be a long-term thing. And if you put even more nuance into it, Robbie says everybody thinks that their way is the only way. You, my dad, Cobra Kai, yada yada yada. And while he may be wrong in some aspects, he's not completely wrong. He's more mature than I'd argue even some of the adults. He's way ahead of his time. Even Miguel and Sam. All the kids are accepting of other philosophies. Whereas the adults are so set in their way. That is why the kids are exciting, because they're not just the next generation. They are the evolution of all the things that we love. And I think Robbie and Miguel are an absolute key component of that. And I think going forward, Robbie has quite an interesting arc to fulfill with his protege, Kenny. Now, throughout the season, you see these two bond in such a beautiful way, like an older brother figure and a younger brother figure. And it just goes to pot. It goes to pot, and it gives Robbie that perspective of everything that he's been doing to all of his mentors across the last few seasons. It gives him that perspective shift, and then once he realizes, he breaks down, and he realizes the full extent of what he has done. That's what it's all about. It's the culmination of everything. And hell, I wouldn't mind a scene between Robbie and Dimitri. I mean, them in the All Valley, you can see Robbie smiling at when Dimitri squares up to him. That's progression. It's a little detail, but it's very noticeable. Guys and girls, jump in the comments section down below. Let me know what you think of this video. Let me know if you agree with any of the points I've raised. Let me know where you think Robbie can go in Season 5. And have you come round to Robbie? Have you sort of seen the little details that they've left along the way, and why I said to stick with his character, because now it's about to be paid off. Also, I apologise if I sound a bit lethargic in this video, a bit fatigued. I'm just a bit under the weather at the moment, but I wanted to get a video out for you guys. It's been a while, and why not a classic then? A Robbie video. After this one, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be doing one on Kenny and Anthony. That's coming up, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Going to be talking a little bit about that and where that can go. And yeah, I can't thank you guys more than enough. You know, almost halfway to 7K already. You guys are absolutely smashing it, and all I can say is thank you. Absolutely thank you. And yeah, that's all I have to say really. No taglines for this one, just thank you for watching and thank you for supporting my videos. I really appreciate each and every one of you. And if there's one thing that we can all learn from Robbie, It's to not let hate consume us. Don't let that hate consume the goodness of your heart. Let it out. Let it all out.